What if a single plant could calm the nervous system, soothe the heart, attract bees, and become the center of a royal assassination attempt? Well, tonight we're uncovering the strange and beautiful story of Lemon Balm. Welcome to the Green Room Apothecary, a place where plants are more than remedies or medicine. They're remembered wisdom, part of our collective living history. Step into the garden with me to explore the history, folklore, and science behind the herbs that have shaped human healing for centuries. Whether you're here to learn something new, to unwind, or to gently drift off to sleep, I'm so happy that you're here with me. I'm your host, Nimue, and this is where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Before we anoint this space with a brief guided meditation about lemon balm, I'd love for you to tell me where you are in the world and what time it is as you're listening. I love imagining this space connecting across different places and times. And if you've spent time with lemon balm, I'd love to hear what your experience has been. Before we move into history or science, let's begin the way all relationships with plants begin, with presence. I'd like to invite you into a small moment of presence with the plant we're about to explore. Wherever you are, see if you can soften your body just a little. Unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, and let your breath slow down just by a fraction. Now, imagine you're stepping into a garden. It's midsummer. The air is warm but not overwhelming. There's a softness to it, the kind of warmth that settles into your skin without asking anything from you. You're walking along a narrow, slightly overgrown path, the kind that tells you this place is alive, not controlled. And as you move, your fingers brush gently against the plants at your side. Leaves, stems, small flowers catching the light. And then you come across a patch of lemon balm. It's fuller than you expected, lush, bright green. The leaves are slightly crinkled, almost quilted, catching the sunlight in soft, uneven patterns. Reach out your hand. Run your fingers along the stem. Notice the shape of it, that subtle square edge grounding it in the mint family. Now gently pluck a single leaf. Bring it closer, and with your thumb and forefinger, slowly crush it and pause here. Before you even inhale, the scent begins to rise. It's soft at first and then unmistakable, bright, warm, citrusy, but not sharp. More like sunlight filtered through lemon trees than the bite of a fresh peel. Now, take a slow breath in. Let that scent fill your chest. Notice what happens in your body. Maybe your shoulders drop a little more. Maybe your breath deepens without effort. And maybe there's just the faintest shift, like something loosening that you didn't realize was tight. And stay here for a moment. Breathing in, breathing out. There's nothing you need to do, nothing to fix in this moment, no outcome you're trying to reach. Just you and this plant sharing the same space. And when you're ready, let the image begin to soften. Garden fades gently into the background, but see if you can carry that feeling with you, that subtle brightness and quiet ease. And as we move into the story of Lemon Balm, its history, its science, its magic, know that this is the feeling people have been returning to for thousands of years. Today we're diving deep into Lemon Balm, one of my personal favorites. We'll explore why ancient beekeepers worshipped it, how it became the centerpiece of royal assassination plots, and why modern science confirms it's one of nature's most profound shields for a racing heart and a nervous stomach. Before we understand how lemon balm works within the body, we have to understand the story it's been telling for thousands of years. So, let's step out of the modern world for a moment and dig into the soil of the past to uncover the ancient soul of this plant. Lemon balm begins to a botanical family called Lamiaceae, making it a sister to some of our most beloved and culinary medicinal herbs, including rosemary, sage, basil, marjoram, and lavender. Its official botanical name is Melissa officinalis. The word Melissa translates directly from ancient Greek to mean honeybee. To understand why, we have to look at Greek mythology. Melissa was a nymph who discovered honey and used it to nurse the infant god Zeus, hiding him from his father Cronus. The nymphs who served the goddess Artemis were also given the honorific title of Melissiae, or bees. Because of this deeply sacred association, the Greeks and Romans revered lemon balm. Pliny the Elder, the Roman author and naturalist, wrote that no plant delights bees more than this one. And he wasn't wrong. Modern science has discovered that lemon balm leaves contain chemicals remarkably similar to the pheromones bees themselves release. For thousands of years, from ancient Europe to Bulgaria and Turkey, beekeepers crushed lemon balm leaves and rubbed the fragrant oils over new, empty wooden hives. They knew the intoxicating scent would make wandering swarms feel right at home, ensuring the bees would settle in and never abandon their hive. But as we move from the hive to the human experience, lemon balm's story becomes even richer. Beyond the bees, lemon balm has a wild, romantic, and sometimes dark history as a panacea for the human body and spirit. In the 11th century, the legendary Persian physician Avicenna famously prescribed it, writing that it causeth the mind and heart to become merry, and drove away melancholic thoughts. Monks in the Middle Ages cultivated it diligently, using it as a strewing herb scattered across stone floors to sweeten the air of their monasteries. It also gained a legendary reputation for extending human life. The Swiss alchemist and physician Paracelsus named lemon balm the elixir of life, believing a potion made from it could completely rejuvenate a dying body. This wasn't a fringe belief either. The 13th century Prince Elwin of Glamorgan allegedly lived to the astonishing age of 108, crediting his longevity entirely to drinking lemon balm tea every morning and night. Another man, John Hussey of Sydenham, drank it daily with honey and lived to be 116. But lemon balm wasn't just a medicine. It was something people believed could influence love, energy, and even the unseen world. Let's step into the realm of the mystical, where lemon balm crosses the line from a simple garden herb to an instrument of magic and spiritual cleansing. The 13th century astrologer William Lilly placed lemon balm under the celestial rulership of Venus, cementing its reputation as an herb of love. But unlike herbs associated with fiery passion, lemon balm was cultivated to attract something softer, gentle, compassionate connection. Historically, it was even used to quietly transmit secret messages between star-crossed lovers. Beyond matters of the heart, lemon balm has long been revered as a powerful spiritual protector. In the Eastern Mediterranean, people relied on its bright, citrusy presence to drive off lingering evil spirits. Today, it remains a beloved ingredient in magical incense blends crafted to reduce grief, promote healing, and boost memory. Its cleansing properties extend beyond scent. Practitioners of folk magic often brew the leaves into floor washes, using the infused water to physically and energetically cleanse a space, scrubbing away the heavy, stagnant energy left behind after illness or emotional conflict. And in early medicine, the belief in lemon balm's power didn't stop at spirit. It extended into the physical body in fascinating and sometimes surprising ways. In the fascinating and sometimes bizarre history of early medicine, lemon balm played a starring role in practices like sympathetic magic and the doctrine of signatures. The ancient physicians, Dioscorides and Pliny, referred to lemon balm as ironwort, believing it had a unique affinity for healing wounds inflicted by iron blades. But the application wasn't always straightforward. In a classic example of sympathetic magic, which is the belief that you can affect a body through a connected object, folklore suggested that instead of applying the herb to the wound, you could stop the bleeding by tying lemon balm to the sword that caused it. And the doctrine of signatures offered another lens. This philosophy held that a divine intelligence marked plants with visual clues indicating their purpose. Lemon balm's softly heart-shaped leaves convinced early practitioners it was meant to heal the heart, both physically and emotionally. This logic extended across nature: red plants for blood, yellow herbs for bile, thorned plants for stimulation and defense. Because of its shape, lemon balm was widely used for cardiovascular ailments. Dioscorides even claimed that when crushed and mixed with salt, it formed a poultice capable of treating scrofula, swelling, and the pain of gout. As these beliefs spread, lemon balm's reputation grew powerful enough to influence not just individuals, but entire empires. Lemon balm's reputation was so highly regarded that it shaped landscapes and crossed oceans. In the 9th century, Emperor Charlemagne became captivated by its supposed ability to promote health and longevity. Convinced of its importance, he issued a royal decree requiring lemon balm to be cultivated in all monastery and apothecary gardens throughout his empire. This ensured its survival and widespread distribution across Europe for centuries. And eventually, European colonists carried the seeds across the Atlantic. In early America, where lemons were rare and expensive, settlers used lemon balm as a citrus substitute in jams and jellies. It became a staple of the colonial homestead. Even Thomas Jefferson cultivated the herb at his gardens in Monticello. And yet, for all of its everyday uses, lemon balm has also found its way into something far more dramatic. One of the most captivating stories surrounding lemon balm involves royal intrigue. In the 14th century, French Carmelite nuns created a potent tonic known as Carmelite Water, or eau de moules, for King Charles V. It combined lemon balm with angelica root, nutmeg, lemon peel, and cloves. Yummy. It became one of the most famous remedies in Europe. In the 17th century, the Duke of Orleans attempted to assassinate Cardinal Richelieu by poisoning his daily dose. But the intensely aromatic blend, combined with Richelieu's own intuition, alerted him before he drank it. To prevent future attempts, Carmelite Water became the first bottled formula sealed with melted red wax, a precursor to modern tamper-proof packaging. Even outside royal courts, lemon balm quietly wove itself into everyday life in unexpected ways. In Elizabethan London, where the streets smelled of sewage and decay, people carried small bouquets known as tussie-mussies, filled with aromatic herbs like lemon balm to mask the stench. Interestingly, while lemon balm attracts bees, it also fascinates cats. In Unani medicine, it's known by a name that reflects this because cats love to roll in it. Later, in the Victorian language of flowers, lemon balm symbolized sympathy, pleasant company, and a wish for healing. But lemon balm's story doesn't stop in the West. Across the world, lemon balm became deeply integrated into traditional medicine systems. In traditional Chinese medicine, it's considered a cooling herb that targets the heart and liver meridians, helping improve stagnant qi and calm the shen, the spirit. In Ayurveda, it pacifies pitta and is revered as medya, or brain tonic, often paired with brahmi to enhance memory and clarity. In Unani medicine, it's classified as a mufare, a heart tonic used to lift melancholia and support the brain. So whether you're balancing qi, calming pitta, or lifting emotional heaviness, ancient healers across cultures agreed on one thing: lemon balm is a medicine for a heavy heart and a restless mind. Across continents, cultures, and centuries, a pattern begins to emerge. No matter the language or the system, lemon balm returns again and again to the same place: the heart, the mind, and the delicate space between them. And for thousands of years, that understanding lived in story, ritual, and lived experience. But now, modern medicine is beginning to ask a different question. What exactly is this plant doing inside the body to create that feeling? So, let's step out of the history books for a moment and into the lab. We know lemon balm is packed with volatile essential oils. These are citral, citranolol, and geraniol, which give it that unmistakable bright citrus scent. But its real medicinal heavy hitters are its phenolic compounds, primarily one called rosmarinic acid. This compound sits at the center of lemon balm's most powerful effects, acting across multiple systems in the body at once. It's anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and deeply involved in how this plant interacts with both the nervous system and the gut. And once we understand what's inside the plant, we can begin to understand what it does inside us. Remember how Avicenna said lemon balm makes the heart merry? He was tapping into something profound there. Lemon balm is a remarkable cardiovascular ally. In traditional Arabic medicine, it was used to strengthen the vital spirits of the heart. And modern clinical trials have backed this up, showing that lemon balm significantly reduces the frequency and intensity of benign heart palpitations. In a study involving patients with chronic stable angina, an extract of lemon balm lowered both systolic and diastolic blood pressure while increasing nitric oxide concentrations and improving the heart's ejection fraction. It acts as a mild, natural cardioprotective agent, easing the physical burden on a stressed, overworked cardiovascular system. But the heart is only a part of the story, because this plant has an equally powerful relationship with the gut. Your gut and your brain are deeply connected, and lemon balm works beautifully on both. It is a classic carminative, meaning it relieves trapped gas, bloating, and indigestion. The essential oils and rosmarinic acid in the plant relax the smooth muscle tissue lining your gastrointestinal tract. When you are anxious, your gut often tightens and cramps. Lemon balm gently unwinds those spasms. In clinical settings, it has even been shown to relieve symptoms of functional dyspepsia. Its antispasmodic effects are so gentle and effective that clinical trials have used lemon balm extract combined with chamomile to significantly reduce crying time in infants suffering from severe colic. And this is where lemon balm becomes especially fascinating, because it works in both directions. First, it works top-down. By calming the brain, it prevents stress signals from triggering digestive distress. But then it also works bottom-up. For people with IBS, digestion can feel painful due to visceral hypersensitivity. Studies show that lemon balm reduces this sensitivity and helps regulate bowel habits by modulating the nitric oxide pathway. And beyond that, it helps reshape the gut environment itself. It is rich in antioxidants that reduce inflammation and protect gut cells from oxidative stress. Its antimicrobial properties help inhibit harmful pathogens while supporting a healthier balance of gut bacteria. So from the heart to the gut, we're seeing a pattern emerge again. But to truly understand its calming effect, we have to look deeper into the brain itself. So what gives lemon balm its calming superpowers? To understand that, we need to understand GABA, a crucial inhibitory neurotransmitter in your central nervous system. Think of GABA as your brain's natural braking system. When you're stressed, your neurons fire rapidly. GABA steps in to slow things down, blocking hyperactive signals and producing a profound sense of calm. Modern studies show that lemon balm boosts GABA levels using a brilliant two-pronged mechanism driven by rosmarinic acid. First, it inhibits an enzyme called GABA transminase, which normally breaks down GABA. By slowing that process, your brain naturally retains more of its calming neurotransmitter. Second, compounds in lemon balm bind directly to GABA receptors, specifically GABAA, enhancing their calming effects. This mechanism is strikingly similar to how certain pharmaceutical treatments for anxiety and insomnia work, including benzodiazepines. By elevating GABA activity, lemon balm helps reduce stress, ease mild anxiety, and create a noticeable sense of calm. But GABA isn't the only player in this story. So, what happens beyond GABA? Let's start with serotonin, the neurotransmitter responsible for regulating mood and overall well-being. Research shows that lemon balm helps regulate serotonin turnover in key regions of the brain associated with depression. Non-human studies have demonstrated increases in serotonin levels, suggesting a natural mood-boosting effect. Next, we have cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. In controlled studies, participants given lemon balm showed a complete absence of the typical cortisol spike during stressful tasks. While the placebo group experienced the expected rise in stress hormones, those consuming lemon balm remained physiologically calm. It quite literally blunts the body's chemical panic response. And while research doesn't clearly map a direct effect on dopamine, it highlights another crucial neurotransmitter, acetylcholine. Lemon balm inhibits an enzyme which breaks down acetylcholine. By preserving this neurotransmitter, it enhances memory, focus, and cognitive clarity. So, when you sip a cup of lemon balm tea, you're not just calming your mind. You're increasing serotonin, reducing cortisol, and protecting cognitive function. It's a full-spectrum nervous system support. One of lemon balm's greatest strengths is its gentleness. Compared to many pharmaceutical options, it carries very few adverse side effects. In an 8-week study comparing lemon balm to fluoxetine, commonly known as Prozac, the group taking lemon balm reported 0 adverse events. However, there are important considerations. Because lemon balm acts on GABA receptors, it might interact with prescription sedatives, and due to how rosmarinic acid interacts with hormones, it can inhibit thyroid-stimulating hormone. So, if you have hypothyroidism or are taking thyroid medication, it's important to consult a healthcare provider before using it regularly. I'm an herbalist and your host, not a doctor, so always use discernment when integrating any plant into your routine. So, what we're seeing is something remarkable. This isn't just folklore catching up with science. It's science catching up with something humans have felt intuitively for thousands of years. A plant that softens the heart, calms the mind, and eases the body. And now that we understand how lemon balm works inside the body, let's step back out of the lab, through the screen door, and into the garden to explore how we can actually work with this plant in our everyday lives. Now that we understand both the story and the science of lemon balm, let's step into something more tangible, how to actually work with the plant itself. If you have lemon balm growing in your garden, timing is everything. The absolute best time to harvest is in the morning, right after the dew has burned off, but before the hot midday sun touches the plant. This ensures that the essential oils are at their absolute peak. You'll get the best flavor if you harvest just before the plant starts to flower. If your plant has already started flowering, simply prune it back and it will flesh out new leaves for you to harvest later. Make sure to leave about 6 inches of bottom growth so the plant can easily regrow, and never take more than 2/3 of the plant at once. Once you've gathered your cuttings, the next question becomes, how do we preserve that freshness? Once you've gathered your fresh cuttings, you can use them immediately or you can dry them for your winter apothecary. Lemon balm is a very delicate herb, so the key to drying it successfully is using low heat and keeping it out of direct sunlight. You have 3 simple options. My personal favorite is using a food dehydrator set to its lowest setting, ideally around 95 to 105 degrees Fahrenheit for about 12 hours. You'll know it's ready when the leaves crumble easily when lightly pressed. Or you can tie 4 or 5 stems together with kitchen twine and hang them upside down in a dark, dry place with good airflow, checking on them after a week or 2. And if you're in a pinch, you can use your oven. On its lowest setting, just be sure to leave the door slightly ajar so you don't accidentally bake your herbs. Once fully dry, carefully pick the leaves off the stems, keeping them as whole as possible to preserve those aromatic oils. Store them in an airtight glass jar tucked away in a cool, dark cupboard. And once your herb is dried and ready, we move on to one of the simplest and most beautiful ways to work with it. Let's talk about tea. If you want to brew a cup of lemon balm tea, there are 2 golden rules to remember. First, never use boiling water. Boiling water at 100 degrees Celsius will instantly vaporize the delicate volatile oils like citral and citrinolol. Instead, let your kettle rest for a few minutes until the water cools to somewhere between 80 and 90 degrees Celsius. Second, always cover your mug while it steeps. A lid traps the steam, allowing those calming essential oils to condense back into your drink instead of escaping into the air. For a light, refreshing cup, steep 1 heaping teaspoon of dried leaves for about 4 to 5 minutes. And for a deeper, more medicinal brew, with a higher extraction of rosmarinic acid, let it steep for 10 to 15 minutes. You can also cold brew lemon balm overnight in the fridge, which preserves even more of its delicate aromatics and results in a softer, more rounded flavor. And while tea is often the most accessible way to experience lemon balm, it's far from the only one. If tea isn't your thing, you can easily make a tincture. Fill a glass jar with roughly chopped lemon balm and cover it completely with 80 proof vodka and let it infuse in a dark pantry for 4 to 6 weeks, shaking every couple of days. And after that, strain it through a cheesecloth into a dropper bottle and you'll have a concentrated extract that can last for years. For a kid-friendly version, you can swap the alcohol for vegetable glycerin to create a sweet alcohol-free glycerite. Or for something more soothing during colder months, you can steep fresh lemon balm leaves with ginger and raw honey to create a delicious syrup, perfect for cold and flu season. So whether it's a tea, tincture, or syrup, there are so many ways to bring this plant into your daily rhythm. And while these are the ways lemon balm has been gathered and prepared for centuries, the real relationship with this plant doesn't live in instructions. It begins the moment you experience it for yourself. Leaf in hand, steam rising from the cup, that first quiet shift in your body. Let's step out of preparation and into experience. After all of this, the history, science, and preparation, there comes a moment where knowledge gives way to something quieter. Because at a certain point, a plant stops being something you study and it becomes something you experience. Let's step out of information for a moment and into something more personal. My first real encounter with lemon balm was probably not so different from many people. I had always been interested in medicinal herbs, but it wasn't until a few years ago that I truly turned my interest onto this particular plant. It came into my life during a time when everything felt a little unsteady. My mind was moving quickly and my emotions felt close to the surface, and I found myself searching for something gentle and grounding. And that's when I reached for lemon balm. Over time, that simple moment of reaching became something more intentional, more ritualized. Over time, the ritual itself became just as meaningful as the plant. In the evenings, I'll take a small French press, just enough for 1 cup, and spoon a couple tablespoons of dried lemon balm from the glass jar I keep in my kitchen. As I pour the hot water over the leaves, I pause for a moment. There's something quietly beautiful about watching them drift and settle, the water slowly deepening in color from clear to a soft golden green. And even before the tea is ready, the scent begins to rise. Warm, citrusy, almost like sunlight softened into something you can breathe in. I'll pour it into a mug and sometimes add a spoon of creamed honey, letting it melt slowly into the tea. And somewhere within that process, something in me begins to shift, not just in the cup, but in the body, in my mood. What I've come to love most about lemon balm isn't what it does, but how it feels. There's a gentleness to it. It doesn't force anything. It doesn't overwhelm the system. It simply creates space. I find myself reaching for it in the evenings as a way to transition out of the day, when the mind is still a little busy or the body hasn't quite caught up with the idea of rest yet. Sip by sip, things inside of me begin to soften. The mental noise quiets just enough. My body settles, and there's a subtle shift into something calmer, steadier, and more at ease. It's become a quiet, reliable presence in my life, something I return to day in and day out, not out of urgency, but out of trust. And maybe that's the quiet truth of this plant. Not that it changes everything, but that it gently changes how everything feels. And from that place, we can begin to understand why it's been carried, trusted, and returned to for thousands of years. So here we are at the place of integration. Let's open up the apothecary cabinet to gently wrap up our deep dive today. Inside, we'll gather everything we've learned and distill it into something simple and something you can carry with you. Here's your distilled summary of lemon balm's ancient and modern superpowers. The brain's braking system. Driven by rosmarinic acid, it boosts GABA levels in the brain, helping block hyperactive stress signals and naturally calm a racing mind. The heart calmer. It helps lower blood pressure, ease benign heart palpitations, and physically soothe an overworked cardiovascular system. The gut soother. As a powerful carminative, it relaxes the smooth muscle of the digestive tract, easing nervous indigestion and painful cramping. The bee charmer. Brimming with volatile oils that mimic honeybee pheromones, it is a legendary plant of the gods, revered for centuries to attract swarms and promote long life. And while it's helpful to understand what this plant does, the real invitation is to experience it for yourself. I don't usually assign homework here, but if you'd like to experience this herb, I'd encourage you to find a lemon balm plant. If you don't have one, visit a local garden center. They almost always carry it. I want you to feel the square stem beneath your fingers, the quiet signal that it belongs to the mint family. Crush a leaf, close your eyes, and inhale that soft, citrusy sweetness. Then brew a cup of tea after dinner this week and see if it doesn't make your heart and mind just a little more merry, exactly as the ancients promised. If you need a place to begin, I've linked a few of my favorite loose leaf and tea bag options in the project notes, so you can bring this plant into your own space. Those are affiliate links that support the Green Room Apothecary, a simple way to help keep this project growing at no extra cost to you. And if you feel curious to wander even further, you'll also find a full bibliography there in the show notes with all of the sources that shaped today's episode. Until next time, keep your roots deep and your leaves reaching for the sun. Stay wild and stay well.